Hey, hey, hey. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh, good to see you guys. All right, let's start by saying hello. Hello to Cheryl and hello to Sharon. Good to see you. Kathy, great to see you as well. Jody, good to see you. Cheryl, you're watching the stove. Okay, don't let anything burn. Nothing burning. Hope it's something delicious. And then there was me. I don't think I wrote that name down. I wrote down Hideous Sales. Remind me of your name, please. And hello, Mel. It's good to see you. Kim, good to see you as well. Kali. Okay, so let's write that on my list. I'm trying to keep a record of all of the names that belong to all the handles. So Kali is, and then there was me. All right. So happy Monday. It is so good to see you guys. And then there was me. There we go. I just want to get to know everybody. Like, there's just so much when I decided that I wanted to do this kind of channel, and we're going to talk about decision making. I've got some really cool things to talk about tonight. When I decided that I was going to go all in on this and start doing it, I realized that I had been watching for years all these people on YouTube, and a lot of us follow some of the same people. And I look at them and I thought, they're so professional. And they've got all this set up, and then they do podcasting. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I just need to do it. And I want to be one of those who knows everybody who's watching. Like, I want to know all you guys. I don't care if there's a million of you. I want to be able to connect with you guys on a really personal level. Yeah. So I'm starting with Cheryl and Lauren and Kali. Okay. So let's see. Sherry, good to see you. Don't worry. We've just gotten started. Okay. So what are we going to talk about tonight? First, we are melting here in Colorado. We hit 100 degrees today, and but it's a dry heat. Regardless, I was melting today, absolutely melting. But always fun. Always. I am part lizard, so I love to feel all the heat. And let's see what else new was going on. Anything interesting? Any housekeeping I need to take care of for you guys? I created the companion document. So there's now gentle crossings for anticipatory. Gosh, I even get the titles of my own things mixed up. Gentle goodbyes is for assisting people with anticipatory grief, and then compassionate choices. That's the one that talks about euthanasia. It brought up some of the topics for tonight about decision making. Like, how do you really know that it's time? And how do I know that I've made the right decision? I watched a podcast today about decision making from a spiritual perspective. Mind blown when I realized what he was actually saying, and how it really can help us when it comes to making decisions for our animal companions, whether it's at end of life or whether it is to take a vacation or medical treatment, anything whatsoever. It really, really is going to help, I think, anyway. And we're going to talk about the things that our animals teach us. It's kind of a continuation from last week, because somebody brought up two things. And if I see Ocean Lee hop on, she might not hop on. She raised some really important questions. But one of the questions from someone else is the reason that they're teaching us lessons because we're just like dumb humans and we don't get it. And so they have to teach us a lesson, so to speak. And the lesson is going to be hard, and the lesson is going to be painful. And it's meant for us to grow. And that's part of what it is. That's part of it, but it's more than that. It goes way more than that. It is about mutual evolution. The question that Ocean Lee, and I don't know Ocean Lee, if it's a man, a woman, or what his or her name is. The important question was, if they can see us, like if they can see and hear us, and they know where we are from the other side of life, and they can send us signs, why can't we see them? Why can't we see and hear them in their spirit form? Why can't we see, hear, and send signs to them? And that is part of what we're going to talk about tonight. It's about mutual evolution and mutual growth. And I can't wait to share that. They are helping us not teach us lessons so much as helping us take a different perspective and helping us understand things that will help us be a better creature. And that was prompted by this book back here that I have. Here, I'll just bring it down. It's a cute book. It's a cute book that was given to me by a friend. and it's called How to Be a Good Creature. And it's just stories of life from the perspectives of different animals, wild animals, captive animals, domestic animals. It just tells their perspective of life and helps you really to get to know someone who might be a different species. That's the only way I know how to put it, to get to know someone who might be from a different species. And by when we do that, when we look at things from an animal's perspective, everything changes. Like for me anyway, everything changes, and we become better people for having animals in our lives. And I think that you guys would agree with that too. And I'll check comments again in a second. But I think, please, Jody, don't say hint of autumn in the air. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm still in the throes of summer. But I digress. Having animals in our life has made us better people, regardless of whether they're still with us or they've crossed to the other side, or we had experienced some kind of trauma as they crossed, whatever, it does not matter. Whatever we've been left with, the heartache we've been left with, the healing we've had, all of it. I think for having animals in our lives, we have become better people all the way around. Better, not just better people, better creatures, right? Better creatures who share the planet with a whole lot of other creatures. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. What else do I want to talk about today? We are 6 minutes in. I did forget to say that for anybody catching this on the replay, and especially if you're just catching me for the very first time, you scroll ahead a little bit. We try to do some catching up, very interactive as we can be on a live stream on YouTube. So every once in a while, I will check the comments and reply to some of those if it's appropriate. And then we kind of talk about our subject, and then we do a reading. And tonight's reading is for a beautiful old lady, a sweet old lady. I could just scoop her up, a sweet old lady named Bella, who has some insights for her human. And was there something else I was thinking about for updates, like, some housekeeping kind of things? And it was the two, they're free. Those downloads are free. You have to give your email address. And I'm hoping that I'm not getting like duplicate email addresses. I think I have it set up so that it weeds out if you've signed up for more than one thing, because I don't ever want to spam anybody, and I don't ever want to slam anybody with ridiculous emails. I'm not the kind of person who, once you send me your email, you're going to get one an hour from me going forward. Like, oh, your last chance to join. Makes me crazy. But I will just send you the weekly message from the Rainbow Bridge, and then any updates if we're going to do anything, like the 2 free downloads and the in-person class that I have coming up. Anybody who wants to come to Colorado, it's only a day long, this one. When I have the weekend events, it's probably a little bit more worthwhile. But August 10th is the Colorado event, and the online Animal Reiki class. If anybody's interested, we did the intro to Animal Reiki last Thursday. And if you are interested in the online Animal Reiki class, it starts in September. Yeah. And so I'm having fun with that, having fun with all that. Okay. I'm going to check comments real quick, and then we're going to dive right in. And I'm looking for you guys to share too. So anything that you can put in the comments, I'm looking for things that you might have learned from having animals be part of your life. Hint of autumn in the air. Kim wants to know what you're cooking for dinner, Cheryl. Done with summer. Okay. Yep. Jody, we're cut from a different cloth, because for me, the hotter the better. Donna, good to see you. Hello. I wish I was having autumn. Okay. See, we're all different. We're all different people. We all have different likes. And that's, right. That's what makes the universe go around. Gypsy, my Gypsy she's a smaller dog, but she's solid black, except for a little bit of white on her chest. And she loves to lay in the sun. She would lay in the sun all day long, just basking in the sun. So her and I definitely belong together. I keep forgetting Thursdays. Kim wants to talk about the orbs. Listen to a podcast, The Orb Whisperer, Virginia Hummel. Okay, I'm writing that down, because we do need to talk about orbs. I've done only the littlest bit of research about orbs, but I have some ideas now. I'm going to write this down with some of the things that we want to talk about tonight. I'm going to write orbs in there as one of the things that we want to talk about. I think that I can tie it into what we're talking about, and then I'll explore it a little bit more. But I didn't write that name down. Virginia. Well, see, we have no humidity here in Colorado, so that makes a whole lot of difference. Baby buttered potatoes, chicken breast, and veggies. All right. Virginia Hummel. There we go. Virginia Hummel. Keep forgetting Thursdays. Thank you for bringing up Thursdays. What I just there's two things now that happen on Thursdays. Every other Thursday, I'm doing peaceful pet workshops, is what I've been calling them. They are just little mini Zooms. So we can all get together. We all talk. We jump on together. It's not like me just doing the talking and trying to read your comments. So we get onto Zoom and I do a little intro class and we really talk and get into some of the details. But now on Thursdays, I've also starting this past Thursday, I just upload a video without being live. For those folks there are some people who don't enjoy lives. There are some people who don't like the interaction. There's some people who don't like the interruption and they just want to have like a 10, 15-minute video, which is what I used to do way back when, before I did the lives, but I could never get consistent at it. But now that I have decided to go all in on creating this community here on YouTube, we're going to do lives on Mondays. And then on Thursday, at some point during the day, the video uploads. And then every other Thursday is a class. Then the next Thursday class for the community, so for you guys who want to jump in on the Zoom, it is going to be on supporting animals at end of life. And that is on August. It's not this Thursday because I do it every other. It's not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. And I will always, I will post things in the community tab. The community tab is a relatively new feature for YouTube. So creators and people who are posting videos are getting more and more familiar with keeping updates in the community, but it's also getting people to recognize that there's a community tab where you can go and get information where we post updates and photos and stuff like that. So check the community tab and I'll post the information about the next class. All right, Judy, good to see you. Let's check. We're stuck on the weather and the potatoes. Mm-hmm. If our animals can tell us the future, like go on vacation, can an animal show their future selves in a reading? Let's write this down. So they can't tell us the future. Don't let me forget that, Sherry. As I start talking about some of these things, I'm making myself a note here. I always have notes, guys. You know that. If they can tell us the future, like a vacation. That just came up, by the way. Had a private client who specifically wanted to know if she should go on vacation. And the answer was yes. The follow-up question was from Animal Companion. The question from the Animal Companion was then, it wasn't even a question. It was a kitty cat. Kitty cat said, that's not what you're asking me. You're not asking me if you want to go on vacation. You're asking me if I'm going to pass while you're on vacation. And the answer to that is, I don't know, but you should go on vacation. That was how it went. But we're going to talk about that. If they can tell us the future, if I could tell you guys about the future and how unwritten the future is and how much not control, that's maybe not, but how much influence you have on your own future. It's amazing. Can they show their future selves in a reading? Sometimes they do. So I'm scribbling here. Just don't let me forget that, Sherry, when we get to that topic. I'm just going to take a couple look at some comments here, and then we're going to move right on. Thursday mini Zooms. They're at night, Kim. They're at night. Fresca loved the grass and the heat of the sun. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you saw her today laying in the shade and doing a big stretch. I love it. We can all see our fur babies through our minds. And we're going to talk about that because that's the question from Ocean Lee was, why can't we see them, like actually see them? And I just have some thoughts I want to share with you guys about that. Oh, your dog's name is Potato. That's me just flipping through the comments so fast. Stuck on weather and potatoes. I love Potato. Potato the dog, the beautiful dog. All right, laughing at myself there. Healing vibes and love to Potato, 100%. I just love. Here's the other thing. The name Potato, I am just recently a dog with the nickname Sweet Potato came in. That was one of the things where the person said that the nickname, there's no way that anybody would know that nickname. And Sweet Potato showed up on the rescue site where the dog was originally rescued. So the signs sometimes are unmistakable. Just thought of this. Have you seen a past animal who was another type of animal in the past? Okay, and we're asking, I get all kinds of questions about reincarnation too. Ocean Lee also had some questions about reincarnation. She wanted to know if they could come back as humans. And we've kind of addressed that question before, but I'm happy to talk about it as many times as you want to talk about it, because there are no rules. There are no rules. There are no rules here. There are no rules on the other side. Like, I just abolish the rules when we proceed from a place of the purest intention, I guess is what I want to say, but we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay, here we go. Potato was just diagnosed with lung cancer. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Metastatic lung cancer, getting close. This is the time. I am going to share with you just right now, real fast, that most of my private clients are now clients who are approaching end of life, either from terminal illness or from natural aging. And that diagnosis, when we receive it and we hear the word metastatic cancer, that's when we circle. We go right to the worst possible scenario. And what I try to coach people with, no matter how hard it is, what I try to coach with is, if we can be there for them, if we would do everything and anything for them, anything and everything. And that includes holding a space for them as all is well, all will be fine. We know that dying is not the end. Death is not the end. It's just a continuation of their journey in a different way. And setting aside our own grief and fear and concern and worry, setting that aside for our animal companion helps them achieve a state of peace that allows their transition to be so smooth. I think that there's a reason why so many of our animals are being diagnosed with cancer. I work in a veterinary office 1 day a week. I see it again and again and again. And of course, it makes me think about this. Why? It's the same reason as people. There is some level of, there's some stressor, whether it's environmental or there's something going on. And I think it's part of the lessons that our animals are trying to teach us, how to be, one of those lessons being how to be better stewards of future animals, because now we might recognize symptoms a little differently, or we might from the very beginning have different nutrition, or there's so many things that we might do just a little bit differently. And that even goes for our veterinary staff. I think they are learning all kinds of things from this, including how to make holistic care for animals part of normalize it for animal care. So not only are they receiving care for their physical body, they may be receiving medication, but they may also be receiving acupuncture or acupressure or Chinese medicine. Some kind of Chinese herb. There's a new it's not new. There's a Chinese herb that one of my clients just gave to her kitty cat that seems to have worked wonders. So, and all of these things, and Reiki, and offering holistic care to our animals is what I'm hoping for. So what I hope is that for Potato, you can find the capacity, and even with the support of everybody in this beautiful community, to hold the space for her, him or her. I don't know if Potato's a him or her. And know that you are giving your animal companion the greatest possible gift, selfless gift, by being there for them and helping them through this, no matter how much it hurts us, no matter how much it hurts us. Okay. Going to check a couple more comments. Pet spirits stay with us after passing, but it's very hard. Yeah, right? Not having Luke physically with you. Absolutely. The physical thing is, it's a challenge. I talk about Winston more than Lucy and Jack. Although I mean, there were things about Lucy and Jack that I physically adored, especially Jack's mane. He had a mane around his neck, but Winston was the cuddler. Winston was the King Charles Cavalier who loved to be scooped up and would hug like a baby. He would just hug, and I miss it. I miss the physical connection. But I think there's more to this than just their physical connection with us. Potato's a boy. Okay. 10 years old. A mixed shepherd Akita. Okay. Beautiful. What a beautiful dog. I mean, I can just picture that. I can picture him. So let's see where we're going to keep going. So hopefully there'll be some more insights for you as we continue, and insights for Potato as well. And we'll all hold Potato in our minds and our hearts. And I do Reiki every morning for every single animal, and Potato will be there as well. What I want to talk about again are the lessons. So when our animal companions, when they're here with us in their physical body, and when they transition to the other side, there's things that they're teaching us. And it's not because we need to be taught a lesson, because we need to be shown how wrong we are, because we need to learn the hard way. Think of all the things that parents, teachers, clergy, whatever, would tell us. You'll learn one way or the other. That's a hard lesson to learn. That's a tough pill to swallow. But that's not what it's about at all. It's about mutual evolution. And here's why I think that we can't see them, but we may be able to see them in the future. This is why I also think orbs come through. And I've kind of touched on it a little bit before. Why I think we see orbs every once in a while, and they come out. The orbs appear mostly in photographs, because we are learning together. I look at it this way. When our animal companions transition to the other side and their spirit leaves their physical body, so their soul, and it's instantaneous, by the way, don't let anybody tell you that it's a long process, that sometimes their soul gets stuck because it's trying to leave their body, that they could get stuck between worlds, that it takes up to 3 days for a soul to completely transit. All of that is not true. I have no proof of that other than what all of your animals have shared with me, that it's instantaneous, that it's just instantaneous. And the reason that it's instantaneous is because it's the way that the universe works. That is the way the universe works. When a soul is done in its physical body, the trend quicker than the word instantaneous, it's done. They've moved out of the physical body and into the non-physical, and there's no separation. There's no separation. There's no space in between. There's no limbo where they might get stuck. They go immediately back to that universal energy that is the quantum field, that is Reiki, that is love, that is that energy that flows to, through, and around us. They go right back into it. Now, when they go, and I only say it that way because I have no other phrase for it. I have no other words. When they transition to the other side of the veil, when they transition their energy back to universal source, we don't have the right words in our human vocabulary to explain this, at least in our Western human vocabulary. But it's an instantaneous shift. And when they get there, which is immediate, they don't have to travel anywhere, they have the ability now. There's a whole new set of abilities. And this goes for people as well as for animals. They have access now to a whole set of abilities. If we think we have extrasensory abilities here, they have even more on the other side of life. But they're just learning. They're learning like us. And I did this little demonstration the other day. I'm going to do it for you guys too. If you've heard anything in the spiritual world, now I am here to support people, to help people heal and offer comfort and messages of hope after the loss of an animal companion. But I do it in a way that is probably unique because I throw in some of the hippy dippy, hairy fairy spirituality stuff. There's some metaphysical stuff that I have found really resonates with me. And I try to put it in lay terms because, I'm the ex-corporate woman. And I'm just figuring this stuff out right along with you. So I'm drawing this little stick figure. Okay, so there's a little stick figure. And that is 2D. You see that little stick figure there? He's 2D. That little stick figure, and we're talking about dimensions right now, it's a hot topic in the field of quantum energy and also in the spirituality metaphysical world. So we are 3D. And 3D is solid. It's the solid dimensional thing that gives everything shape. It gives shape to everything, purpose to everything. It organizes everything. It's the way that energy is organized and that we can see and make sense of. 2D, this little guy is in 2D. I created him. He exists in 2D. But he can't do anything with anything that's in 3D. There is nothing in this thing. He can't hop off that page. He can't put on a pair of glasses. He can't ride a bicycle. He can't do anything. He's just a flat stick figure on a piece of paper. We are in 3D. We have access to all this cool stuff. We have all these things. We have a ceiling fan to make it cool. We have windows so we can see outside. We have pens to write with, paper to write upon, cell phones and computers. And we have all these things, and we are learning how to use them to the best way that we can. And all the things, think of all the things we've invented and brought into the 3D world. But there are things in 3D that we don't have access to. When our animal companions cross to the other side, they cross into a whole different plane and a whole different dimension. I'm going to call it 5D. 4D, as I understand it, and I'm not a quantum physicist, look up Neil Tyson deGrasse. I think that's the way you say his name. He explains that 4D is time. And time is also the thing that keeps everything organized here in 3D. That time keeps things, so we don't burn the food on the stove. So the chocolate chip cookies come out fine. So we make our flight. That's what 4D is. But time, once you pass into that dimension, exists in a whole different way. We'll come back to that. 5D. 5D is where all of the beautiful souls go to. So when I say that it's like water and ice and steam and the ocean and the rivers and the snow and the rain, but it's all water, it's just in a different form. So when our animal's energy transitions to a different dimension, they go to 5D. And once they're in 5D, they have the ability to access all of the cool things that exist in 5D that we can't see. When animals and people are in 5D, angels, ancestors, aliens, ascended masters, whatever, when they're in 5D, they have access to a whole range of things. And we are like Flat Stanley here. We are like this little flat figure stuck in 3D who can only access the things in our world. We don't have access to the other things. And I'm going to keep on going with this, and then I'll check comments. So our animals and people, when they transition out of their physical body and they ascend to a new dimension, their energy is still existing. They still exist. They have access to a whole set of things, which allows them to return to Earth if they choose, or it allows them to use energy to show up for us, like making images in the clouds, or letting us catch something out of the corner of our eye, or or they can send us different signs, like we hear their name, or all of a sudden we start finding coins or feathers or whatever. They have access. They have the ability now to do that, even though we don't understand how they can do it. Why can't we see them, and how can they see us? And why do they have to show up as orbs? Why can't they just like manifest themselves and show us their spirit here? I think that they are still learning too. They're learning how to navigate the new dimension. They're learning how to figure out all the tools over there. And by being able to share with us and connect with us and send us signs and show up as orbs, they're figuring out how to use all their new talents, gifts, and skills in their new dimension. I'm going to take it one more step further. I also think that we are evolving, that the whole universe, and I'm going to stick with Earth and Earthlings here on humans on planet Earth, that we are evolving, and this spiritual awakening that, I mean, everybody's talking about the spiritual awakening, and that's cool, but it's become really like trendy now to be going through a spiritual awakening. But if that's okay, as we awaken here and they are learning their skills over there, we are making it easier for them to tap into their skills, and they're making it easier for us to tap into ours. So that's why it's often referred to as the veil, and that the veil right now is very thin, that this transition of people's abilities here on the planet as we awaken to our true nature, that we have unlimited access to anything and everything, including stepping in and out of dimensions if that's what we choose. We're learning how to do it, and they're teaching us how to do it, and we're helping them and they're helping us, and together the whole thing is uplifting, and the universe continues to expand and grow and expand and grow. And the more the universe is going, oh wow, all the cool things that are happening between people and animals, and we're just one little tiny planet. Think of this whole amazing universe and all the stuff that's going on planets that we have no idea, but we are learning some really cool things, and it is it's one of the reasons why I no longer fear anything. I don't fear it. I don't fear it. And I, not only do I not fear it, but I just know that our animals that we are going through some kind of expansion that is really interesting, really exciting. I have to go back to my notes because I've lost my train of thought there for a second. Not that it was more than that I lost fear of everything. That I love tapping into my own magic. Look, I went and drew the stick man, and I lost all my notes. Here we go. Okay. Lessons, natural evolution. We're not out to teach you a lesson. We're practicing. They're learning too. Oh, why forgiveness? I mean, I can't hold any grudges anymore. No more grudges. No, I have lost fear. Forgive everybody. Heal. Make connections. Know that we're all connected. It's just, yeah, the animals have changed that. And I think that that's changing for more than just me. I'm giving you from my perspective, but I think it's changing. I think so many people are on this train right now, the crazy train. Let's see what the comments are. Oh no, there's no failure. Kim, thank you for sharing that. And I don't see it. I don't know what the comment was about failure. We cannot fail. We cannot fail. One of the messages that I've shared in the recent past was that we have to let go of this holding ourselves accountable for every single thing when it comes to controlling our animals' existence and their own journey. Every single animal is on their own journey, and we do the best we can with what we have at a particular moment in time, knowing that our animals also have their own very specific soul journey. They're on a journey, and we do what we can. We do everything possible for them. We bankrupt ourselves trying to be able to help them and save them, knowing that when their time comes, it is their time, and you have not failed. I promise you, there is no animal who will ever say that they were failed by their human companion. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, let's see some more comments. I failed to be a foster when I adopted them both. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and look at comments because you missed the physical too. Speaking of clouds, did you find my emails regarding Meow Meow? No, Cheryl, I didn't, and I don't know where you sent them to. So it's very possible that you sent them to a different email address, but we need to post those videos of Meow Meow. Just had this conversation at dinner with two people I live with. Said that if I were to die in my sleep tonight, I'm not. No, exactly. I had the same conversation with my future son-in-law. He was talking about something and the fear, and I don't remember what the topic was. And I was like, if a tree fell on me right now, we were walking outside. If a tree fell on me right now, and I found myself on the other side, I'm not afraid of it. I am. If it, as bizarre as it sounds, I look forward to the day. I'm experiencing life now, and one of the lessons that our animal companions are teaching us is to enjoy every moment in the physical, because only we get to experience this. Only we get to experience this. And I've said before that other beings, let's just say like angels, there are other spiritual beings, and I'm not telling you what to believe, and I'm not getting all religious about this, but there are those who don't come into the physical like us, and they look at us like starstruck. We're like the superstars of the universe because we are here in a very physical world, in a very demanding world, running the Iron Man of the universe. And sometimes it's hard, but to enjoy every moment of it, enjoy every last minute of it, whether it's laying out in the sun, watching the clouds, or climbing a mountain, or whatever it is that you want to do. Live in the moment. Okay. Just, I'm not afraid of dying. Yeah. I just don't want to feel any pain, right? That's it. Now, the interesting thing about the pain, this comes up from time to time when animals are killed by another animal. And what my understanding of this, because I've asked it repeatedly, my understanding of this is that the universe withdraws. Like it withdraws the soul before that intense pain can impact the psyche of that particular soul. They're gone. They just go. But that's, I have to explore that a little bit further before I'm ready to talk about that in any depth. But no, I also don't want the pain. I would just like to be gone. Read for me. Okay. I'll go back and check as soon as we're done here. Gotcha, Cheryl. Gary and Potato were foster dogs, failed to foster. That kind of failure. I love it. I'm a foster fail too. I'm totally a foster fail. It's the best thing to be. It's the best thing to be. Yeah, right. And that is also true. But when we help one animal, we help them all. But to bring in fosters, and sometimes it can be painful. Like Jake. Jake was a foster, and Jake stayed with me for 3 months. And when it was time for Jake to go, he was a medical foster. He was the amputee that I watched while his mama was recuperating in the hospital from her own surgery. When it was time for Jake to go home, my husband and I we were bawling. We didn't want to see him go. He had become part of the family. We had nursed him back to health. And remember, if you guys know this, Jake and my husband had their amputation on the same day, and they nursed each other back to health, and they learned how to walk together. And it was incredibly painful to let Jake go. So I haven't fostered actually since then. But except that my beautiful gypsy, I had no animals in the house at all. It was after everyone had crossed, and my home was empty for the first time in years. And I knew I was bringing Gypsy in for good anyway. So, okay. Jake came to you for a reason, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I agree that Jake came to us specifically to help. I think there was a mutual healing that needed to go on there, but it didn't make it any less hard when it came time for him to go back to his home. All right, so let's talk about these lessons. Here's the things I put at, and I would love for you guys to comment, lessons that you think you learned from your animal companion, either in life or after they crossed. The fear, it's gone, the fear. So even YouTube, like it took me a long time to get started because I was afraid. I'm like, who am I to say that I do videos on YouTube? Who am I to say that I can help counsel people after the loss of a pet? Who am I to say? I mean, I was like, and so I started and stopped and started and stopped and started. And then when it was Lucy, man, Lucy every time. Oh, shoot. Can you guys hang on for a quick second? Give me 2 seconds, 10 seconds. I got to get something for you. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Okay, I didn't want to be gone for too long, so I only grabbed one. I was just saying, as I talk about Lucy, I was saying to someone just with this couple days ago, I said, I realized that I've gotten so wrapped up in things, in doing things, in teaching things, in creating things, because I just, when I get into creative mode, I just go, 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 go. And I realized that I hadn't connected with Lucy in a while. And I hadn't felt her jump on the bed, and I hadn't received any signs like usually. And I talk to her. I talk to Lucy. I talk to Jack. I say Lucy's name. I don't know how many times in a day, a week, whatever, but I hadn't received a sign. And I was like, wow, I think that's me. Like, it's because I have been so focused on 3D and do that I forgot to ask and to spend a little time. So I asked her and I said, Lucy, I would love, as I'm going to sleep, I would love to have a dream. Oh, just come to me in a dream. I want to dream all about you. And I want to feel you again. I want to touch you. I want to hear you. I want to see your eyes. She had the best eyes. And I woke up the next morning and there was nothing. And I was like, oh, I mean, I teach people that all you have to do is ask. And I thought, have I really messed up something? And here goes me knowing that you cannot mess it up. No, I know you cannot mess it up, but there's me self-doubting. And Lucy teaching me once again. I was looking for a very specific set of wine glasses. So I went to Goodwill. And when I walked into the door of Goodwill, dun, 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 there's the shirt. It's just hanging right there. Like all the shirts were parted. And here was Sweet Lucy right there. I was going to wear this tonight. I'm totally so bummed that I forgot. And so my little brain goes, oh, it's Sweet Lucy. She's talking to me. And then, the little tiny voice in the back of my mind says, it's just a coincidence. So I moved the shirt, and I didn't take the time to root through my closet. I moved the shirt and there was a second one. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's Lucy all the way. That's Lucy. So they have taught me to let go of fear, to let go of doubt, to let go of second guessing myself. It's why when I do these readings, I do them unfiltered, even when some of the stuff doesn't make sense. I tell you what I receive, and I tell you what I see, and I tell you how they come to me. And I trust that on some level, it's going to make sense. And that's what they've taught me. They've taught me how to trust. We trusted them in life to love us. I mean, they just love and love and love. And we need to trust them on the other side. Trust that they are coming through. Trust that they will find a way. They will find a way. They have endless patience. Trust that they'll find a way. And yeah, just believe in them. Believe in them. And they'll come through for you. They will absolutely come through. They taught me how to heal. They taught me how to forgive. They taught me that we are all connected. Every single one of us. Everything is connected. They've taught me so many wonderful things. I want to talk about decision making. I want to get to a couple of your questions. Understanding someone who belongs to others. Oh, I already said that. Okay, let's take a look at the comments real quick. I know, right, Sharon? Cheryl, it's just, all you have to do is ask. And it reminded me again, and we can do this, right? We get caught up. It's okay. It's okay. You just be gentle with yourself and you remind yourself, all right, I got wrapped up in the physical. I got wrapped up in all the doing, and I trust Lucy to come through. And sure enough, she sure did. Love signs like that. Gary plays the wind chimes. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that shirt is, I'm hanging on to that shirt forever. Okay. So tell me if I'm not addressing some of your questions. I'm going to go back to some of the questions that came up. I want to go back to Ocean Leaves, why we can't see them and send them signs. If they can see us and send us signs, why can't we see them and send them signs? And the answer is we can. One of you, don't remember who said we can see them in our minds. Mel, it was possible that was you. We can see them in our minds through visualizing. And I know some people say to me, oh, I'm no good at visualizing. If you've ever used your imagination for anything, you can visualize. It doesn't mean that you have to create this big scene in your head. You just picture them, or just know that that they're there, or look at a picture of them. But you can see them in your mind. But I know what you're talking about. You want to see them. I want to see. And I know very few people who are able to see souls and spirits from the other side. I get a sense of animals. For example, I was in a room and there were 12. It was when I go to a psychic development class, and as I'm sitting in the room, I had a really, really strong sense of a dog who was sitting by a person, and it wasn't. I couldn't see, I couldn't say, oh yeah, but I knew that a dog was lying there, and I had a strong sense that the dog was listening to every word that the man was saying, listening intently, ears pricked, listening, and eyes. You know how sometimes dogs, they can have very active eyebrows, and so I said it. I said it out loud, and it wasn't that I actually saw, but I knew that they were there. So while we may not be able to see with our 3D physical eyes, clairvoyance simply means clear sight. Clear sight. And the more we practice I'll use the word meditation, but the more we practice how to quiet our mind consciously, actively, turning off the thoughts, believe me, it takes practice. It took me years before I thought that I could actually meditate because my mind would never stop. But when we can learn to quiet that noise, that's when we begin to get the knowing. At least for me, it's knowing. For others, it may be something completely different. And that knowing is my clairvoyance. My clear sight about that dog was not that I could see a spirit, but it was about that I knew he was there. I just knew he was there. So we can see them just in a different way if we can change our perspective about what that sight looks like. And then send them signs, 100%. Send them signs, talk to them as if they're still here. And then the way that they acknowledge that they're hearing you is when they send the sign back. So when the wind chimes blow, when you look up and see the cloud with the shape of their head, whatever you hear their name, whatever they send back to you is an acknowledgement that they've heard you. Sometimes it's a flat out sign, like Lucy saying, wake up, mama. I'm right here. I haven't gone anywhere. But other times it's an acknowledgement that I've heard you. I heard you loud and clear. And here, this is how you know that I heard you, because I've just sent you this dragonfly or whatever it might be that they've sent you as a sign. The other question was from Sherry, right? Can they tell us the future, like show us their future selves? Was that your question? Let me just answer this question about clairsentience. I know when spirit is around me when I get chills, goosebumps, and vibrate. Me as well. And I call that like an up level. When you get chills out of nowhere and brain tingles, whatever, when you get that sensation, there are some times when I'm really experiencing it deeply and my whole body feels like shivery. I know for certain that means that there's information ready to come through. And all those clairs, guys, I'm gonna teach a psychic class. And this just comes because the psychic development class that I'm in, I feel isn't it's not quite meeting my needs, because I want to be able to show concretely things that you can do and what they mean. When we say all these hairy-fairy, hippy-dippy words like clairsentience, clairvoyance, what are some of the other clairs? Clairalliance, clairgustance, clairtangience. There's all these, and it's like the ESP and it's a natural part of your abilities. You have this ability. We have got 5 senses that we're taught in school. Well, you've got a lot more. It's not just that you have 5 senses, because you also have the 6th sense. You also have a connection that you're connected directly to the quantum field. And you can have access to information. And the clairs, like clairvoyance, clairsentience, it just means clear. That's all the word clair means. Clear knowing, clear vision, clear smelling, clear audience, clear healing, clear hearing, clear. That's what it means. So when we turn down the dial on the noise in our mind, we can get a clearer picture of what it is that we are either knowing, seeing, touching, feeling. It's not some psychic gift that's reserved just for a handful of people. And if you happen to be the Long Island media, you may get a TV camera that follows you into the grocery store. When she says, "Oh, I see your grandmother." Yeah, it's not. It can be that, but it is a natural part of your existence. If we could just start to normalize some of this, and not have people think that it's totally nuts, because we've all experienced something. Every single person has experienced something that gave a hint, an insight that there's more to this than we think with our 5 senses. Didn't plan on going down there, but let's see. Working in a metaphysical shop. Think being around like-minded. There is, and then somebody saying, been seeing 111 and 1111 on clocks most days. Angel numbers like that are absolutely a sign. Anything that catches your attention, it's designed to catch your attention. 1111. I once changed my phone to 20, like instead of going the 12-hour clock, I wanted a 24-hour clock because I wanted 11:11, 11:11. I wanted 12:12. I wanted it to keep on going. Anyhow, regardless. Signs are meant to be obvious. They are attention getting. And if they get your attention and make you go, then I say that not note it and jot it down because it's for real. And surrounding yourself by like-minded people. It's one of the reasons we have this community. We surround ourselves by like-minded people. There's a saying like you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's a reason that we say that. It's because when we connect with that way, we become aligned and our vibrations become aligned and our frequencies become aligned. And it's like that TV station. It's like the radio station. You have a TV in your home and there's not a million people hiding behind the TV waiting to pop out and show you the show. It's because you tune into the channel that they happen to be on. And when you tune into that channel, then you get to watch the show. And it's like a metaphor for this. And when you connect with others, so you're all watching the same TV show together, you're all laughing at the same jokes. When you start to connect with like-minded people, you begin to grow as they grow. And your thoughts begin to change. Your brain actually begins to rewire as you start to hang out with like-minded people. So that's why I foster these groups. It's why I belong to so many other groups. It's why I still go to my own psychic development class. I want to be surrounded by people who think like this, who know like this, who are dedicated to evolving, who are dedicated to growing, who are dedicated to their spiritual advancement so that we can help the universe expand. And this earth becomes a better place to live. And we leave behind, I'm getting really deep into it now, and we leave behind the old and we embrace the new, and we just kind of continue in that direction. I'm not going to go any further into that. This crew is amazing, right? There's an amazing group of people here, and some of them aren't here tonight. Aaron usually jumps on. I don't see him here tonight. Pat is off and on. Sometimes Pat doesn't comment though. That's Logan's dad, who, by the way, I just found one of your emails, Pat, that just filled my heart about Logan. And I think it was about community, the fact that we are creating this community because we are creating this community. I couldn't do this by myself. We are creating a community of support and spirituality, and we have fun. We have fun too. And can you imagine, guys? All of our animal companions are right here with us. Jack and Lucy and Winston and Jake. And I can't even think of all your animals' names anymore. Mimi and Phoebe and Fresca, and put all their names in there. I want to see everybody's animal name in the comments. Because they're all right here with us. All right here with us tonight. Okay, let me see. Kim, the Mystics group on Friday mornings. Okay, yeah. Maggie, Gary, Benny. Meow, meow. I love it. Absolutely love it. Phoebe. I did say Phoebe. I remembered Phoebe. On Friday morning. So I do a lot of different things because I like to do different things. And I'm trying to get down to a little bit of a routine. But on Friday mornings, it's very early for me. It's 7 a.m. and I'm Denver. 7 a.m. Denver time, 8 Central Time, 9 Eastern Time. And I did it that way because I had a handful of people that were from the UK and Europe who aren't as active anymore. But there's still a couple. There's 2 from England in particular. Anyway, we get together every Friday morning and we go down the rabbit hole. We just go down the rabbit hole. There's no doubt about it. We talk about everything metaphysical. Nothing's off limits. And we practice. We practice and we play. So I know that if that's your thing, if you are just looking for a community to hang out with and receive support from and to experience healing and messages of hope with a little bit of a twist, then everybody is welcome. I want everybody to feel as welcome here as they want to be. But if you want to dive a little bit deeper, if you are a member of the channel, so you have to sign up and actually join to be a channel member, then the Friday morning groups are open to you. And we do it just about every Friday morning. Every once in a while I've had to cancel, but okay, let's continue. The hole is deep. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, let's see. Who am I? Jen! Do we have a new welcome here? Oh, Ruby Dawn. Hello. Welcome, welcome. And hello to Rosie. Yeah, it's welcome. You are so welcome here. And if you have questions or anything that you want to share, we would be happy to share right along with you. Okay. So anything else that you guys want to share before I do the reading about things that you might have learned from your animal companion? I shared the things that I feel I've learned, and I think that I still learn. I think there's still so much more that they have to share with me, and I really look forward to that too. I want the fire hose open. I want to learn it all. I want to feel it all. I want to see the orbs. I want to see. I want to do all kinds of things. I just want to explore it all. That's why I do the Friday morning things too, because I want to be able to do more than just readings for people. I want to do it all. Love to join again on Friday. Yeah, work gets in the way. I know. I have to balance who can and can't attend. It's at 7 a.m. and I know that for the East Coast, it's like right as you're going to work. But there's not much I can do about it. But anybody, you guys are welcome to join. Animal future selves in a reading. So the answer is yes, they can. But here's the thing here's how that works. So Sherry's question is, can an animal, if they can predict the future, first of all, the future is not written. It is 100% unwritten. Destiny. So let's talk about destiny. Destiny is you decided to come here. So I'll use me as an example. I decided to come to this particular incarnation as a woman, a mother, a grandmother. I was meant to have a corporate job for whatever reason. That's not part of it. I am a woman who is 5'8" and dark hair, and there's a fixed set of things that there isn't much I can do about. And that is who I am right now. I am a woman in this particular existence, and this is that's my parameters. But beyond that, whatever decisions I make, oh, good. I don't want to forget about decisions, and we're running up on an hour. Whatever decisions I make take me down a certain path. They take me in a certain direction, and there's no way to know what that looks like. I may have set up some tentative parameters for myself, as we mentioned with animals and soul contracts, but it's not written in stone. So what our future animal looks like, we may not have decided yet. But what about if you did decide? That's where it comes together. So what we do is ask them if they would show us. We can ask specifically, would you show me what you're going to come back, or what my next animal companion is going to look like, or who it's going to be? Should I adopt a cat? And then you've got to, it takes a little bit of work for you to start to understand what the answers are. And sometimes it'll be just, I've told somebody this, I don't remember who it was, that your animal companion specifically said, look in their eyes. There's something in their eyes that will tell you immediately that this is the animal companion that wants to come back into your home. Or you can say, I really, really would like to adopt a dachshund. I really, really would like to bring a dachshund into our home. I've never had a dachshund before, and I think it would be something interesting to explore. Would you be interested in coming back as a dachshund? You can ask then, and then say, all right, so then how am I going to know that it's you? And they will tell you that they can absolutely, through a reading, which is simply connect you. And you don't even need to have a reading if you start to trust yourself. If you begin to trust yourself and your ability to connect with animals on the other side, you will begin to talk to them, and you'll be able to write down things. I write. I mean, you can type it in your phone or on your computer or whatever. You can start to receive, you can ask specific questions and receive specific answers to those questions. So the answer is yes. Little Benny definitely healed me from trauma. Okay. That's our soul path. But once human, we still have free will. Yep, exactly right. We have, I mean, there's some parameters we come into the world with, but beyond that, we're born in a certain country. We have certain parents. We may start out in a certain religious practice or what, and beyond that, it's our decisions that make everything. So the other thing that came up with all of this was the question of decision making. How do I know if I'm making the right decisions for my animal companion? How do I know that it was the time to make a particular decision? And here's what I discovered about decisions. This resonated with me. I don't know if it will resonate with everybody, but the response was, and we've heard this many times, no decision can be wrong. They're all right decisions. And I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but here is what the twist on it was. When you make the decision, especially if you make it from a place of love or a place of compassion, when you are making a decision that you believe is in the best interest of your animal companion, make the decision and then align with it. So get into the frequency of that decision. And instead of sitting in a chair going, oh my gosh, I just don't know if I made the right decision. And I wish I could go back and redo that. Should I rethink it? Do I need to look at all the pros and cons? Do I? Instead go, this is the decision. I am making it for your highest good. I trust that my higher self and your higher self conspire together to help me know that I am making always the right decisions for you. And I trust that I'm making the right decisions. And when you align with the frequency of the decision, it can't be wrong. It just can't be wrong, because it can be a decision for anything. I don't care what it is. You make the decision, and instead of second guessing yourself, you just tell yourself that you have made the decision for the best possible reasons in the highest good, and you believe in yourself to make decisions. Anyway, that kind of blowed my mind, and I can't wait for my next decision. Let me take a look at some comments, and then I'm going to do the reading for Bella. Pups have taught me love and trust and resolve life. They're the best teacher. They're natural teachers. Animals are they're natural born teachers and healers. They're the best healers. And whenever I teach a class, they're my best teachers. Rosie healed me. Look at that. All the animals that came into our lives and healed us. Did a reading for a friend. I saw a puppy struggling up the steps. They didn't have her as a puppy. They just adopted a puppy, so they're wondering. I did a reading for a friend. I saw a puppy struggling up the steps. They did not have her as a puppy. They just adopted. Oh, okay. So doggy who had crossed, they didn't have as a puppy, and they're wondering if that puppy. So for me, if you ask the question, then the answer they already know. And you already know as well that that's the case. If it crossed your mind, if you go, I wonder, then it is. It's because we're conditioned to respond that way, to second guess ourselves, to overthink it, and just trust that is exactly what it is. In my mind, I got my fur babies when they came to me based on my life, and will continue to live in that. Okay. Ruby Dawn, I do rescue, and this is really helpful. I have to make some hard decisions almost every day. Oh, Ruby Dawn. Those hard decisions, 100%. I wish that I could work with every shelter and every rescue to help, especially help the people who work there that are responsible for making those decisions, and not just making them. I want to be able to help the people whose job it is to actually assist the animals transition and all the animals that they have to do, and to decide which animals live and which animals have to be transitioned. Heart-wrenching. And I want to be able to share that it's okay. It is okay. You will make the best possible decision for an animal's highest good. And it's not a guilt that you need to carry. It is just not a guilt you need to carry. I would love to be able to help more and more people who are at rescues and shelters who have to deal with that. I don't see Caroline on here tonight. Caroline works at a shelter as well and goes through some of the same things. The future self question. The future self question. Can they show you your future self? Is that what you're asking me? Sherry, do you want to see your own future self? Because I can tell you right now, if you're talking about your future self, oh, I answered it. Okay. Because you can connect with your future self and your past self because it's all together, right? It's the timelines are all, it's not like we think it is. It's not linear. You have the ability, if you make changes in your life right now, you have the ability to help your younger self heal from any traumas, mistakes, guilt, anything that your younger self may be holding on to. You can go back and help her heal, him or her heal. And in the future, your self is doing the same thing. Your future self is already acting, especially in groups like this. Your future self is like so happy and so excited to see where you're going right now that he or she is actively taking a role in helping you shift your life right now because it makes it better for your past self, your current self, and your future self. You're lifting the whole you up and growing. So, and our animals are part of that. Okay. And yes, rescue fatigue. Rescue fatigue. I totally understand. I have worked with sanctuaries and rescues and shelters, and it is the ones who have to make the decisions about euthanasia and even compassion fatigue in the veterinary field. It's something I'm still kind of wrapping my head around about how I can help, but that's part of my animal chaplaincy, being able to assist them getting past that rescue fatigue and compassion fatigue. Okay, we need to do a reading. This reading is for little Bella. Bella is a sweet old lady, and I don't know what kind of dog she is. She is a mixed breed from what I could see from her picture, but just I can tell a sense of humor, and I don't see her human on here. So maybe I'll get some comments. She'll either send me an email or we'll get comments afterwards. So this is what I got. I always try to ask for a little bit of evidence. And one of the questions that Bella's mom had was about lessons. So I think I might have even answered that question without realizing it as we were talking. But the specific piece of evidence is that I got, so I would love to get validation if you any of this, but that Bella was a hoarder, that she would steal things. And that is not very common for dogs. But I got a sense that she hoarded things and she would keep them all together, whether it was toys, shoes, socks, that she would steal these little things and keep them in her little bed, her little nest. And then something came up about a stick of butter. Like that was something that she stole. Like she got up onto the counter and snagged a stick of butter. It was so clear, that particular visual. And that she stole something recently. So even though Bella is on the other side, she continues to have fun with that. And that recently she hid something from you. I didn't get a sense of what it was, but whatever you are missing, go to the space where she used to hide things, and that is where you're going to find it. Some other things that came up were clicky nails. I can hear the click of nails. It's something that is one of the sound things that I get, but this was something different. It was clicky nails on an old-timey kitchen floor, like linoleum. Linoleum. Oh God, that's ancient history, isn't it? But you know what I'm talking about. It was like I just visualized an older kitchen floor and being able to hear her nails clickety 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 on the kitchen floor. Also a funny video. Like, did you make a video of her? A video of one of those dog shaming pictures. You know how that was like a popular thing a couple years ago when they would hang a sign around a dog's neck. Or America's Funniest Videos. It just came up as a funny dog video for Bella. And Bella's mama specifically wanted to know, did I cause pain trying to keep her alive? So with all of the things that I did to help her live longer, was that actually a mistake? And the answer is 100% no. Not a mistake. And I'm not getting this just from Bella. This comes up from every single animal who's ever been asked this question. They decide. They know when it is their time for their time to cross. And if she If Bella was not willing to, she stayed with you. She stayed with you for a reason. And part of that has to do with the lessons, and I'll get to that. She stayed with you because she chose to stay with you. And she was not in excessive pain. She stayed with you as her choice. This was part of her journey, and you did not cause her excessive pain by trying to keep her alive, because she would just cross on her own terms, and you did not hurt her at all. What was she here to teach? She was here to teach you, because this was the next question. There was that question, then a follow-up question, and you guys probably have, others have felt this. I know that I have. Does she know how sorry I am that in the last year of her life, not knowing it was going to be her final year, I was so preoccupied with all the human stuff that I wasn't paying enough attention to her. I think that many of us have been there. Many of us have looked back and gone, if I had just realized that this was going to be my final 6 months with her, I would have done things completely differently. And I absolve you of that guilt as well. And it's not just me absolving you of that guilt. You can forgive yourself for that. Our animal companions, when they cross to the other side, they don't take anything with them but love. They don't judge us. They don't hold grudges against us. They aren't angry for what we did or didn't do. They do nothing but love us. Always love us. I always use the example of you put if you had a trunk and you put your spouse in the trunk and left them there for half an hour, when you opened the trunk, they would come out swinging mad. When you put your dog in a trunk and you left it there for half an hour, and when you open the door, they'd come out kissing your face. That's all they know, is how to love you. All they know is how to love you. And you don't have to worry about that. For us, yeah, would we have gone back and done things differently? I would have also. So spend the time with them now. Even if they're on the other side, do some things that you would have done with them. I love to go to the park with that. I mentioned I can't wait to go back to the park. There's one park in Wisconsin they loved. I can't wait to visit it at the end of the summer. I am going to go there and just walk the park and allow Jack and Lucy to see it through my eyes and feel their presence with me as we hide behind the trees. They love to play hide and seek. Did you ever hear of dogs playing hide and seek? They loved it. And play hide and seek with them. Do something that you would have done with them in life and allow them to experience it with you from the spirit side. And you'll feel it. You'll know that you'll know that Bella's with you. You will absolutely know it. Oh, and then also she wants you to be silly. Was that a lesson that she tried to teach you? You sent me some pictures. There were some pictures of Bella, and she's just hilarious. She's hiding under covers. It's just the most adorable pictures. And I think she was also trying to tell you that there's a silly side that you kind of keep hidden, and it's okay to be silly. It's okay for all of us to be silly. We take things way too seriously as grown-ups, and one of the lessons is that it's time to be a little bit silly. Was there anything else? Oh, who was there to greet her? I got a clear sense of that. I got a clear picture of a grandfatherly figure. I don't know who. I didn't come through as to who that was. A very grandfatherly figure, just an older gentleman. I don't have, it's just like the vaguest thing. I can't even describe what his features look like other than gray hair. That's all that's coming through, is a gray elderly gentleman. I see mature features, taller, wrinkled hands. Anyway, it's a very grandfatherly figure. And every single one of our animal companions has somebody there, has either a person or everybody, person, angel, other animals. They're not ever alone. Ever, ever, ever. There's always somebody there that is in that new dimension to welcome them and love on them. And we don't ever have to worry about that. Okay. That about wraps it up. I'm just going to, although if you locked a cat in the trunk, right? I was going with kind of dogs there, wasn't I? That's funny. But that's the analogy that I mean anyway. They just do nothing but love you. They do nothing but love you. And when it comes your time to cross to the other side, they are going to be there ready to kiss your face. or just jump into your arms, or just be there with you, whatever you need. But that's funny, Shari. Or yes, Cheryl and Shari. I get you guys mixed up sometimes. I still ask Phoebe if she wants to go for a walk. 100%. I do. I take Jack and Lucy with me all the time. And sing. Oh, absolutely. That's a good one. I sing to them. Absolutely sing to them. Okay, my friends, that about wraps it up for the evening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for welcoming each other, for new folks coming into the group like Ruby Dawn. Thank you for supporting each other. And until whenever I see you next, whether it's on one of the other meetings or until next Monday, may animals light your way. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Love you too, guys.